What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me, Meansy, Daniel, all the greats, plus you get access to our nice little prop shopping tool. You can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop, plus where the best lines at, and most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is that? It's my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks each and every day so you can get them in before the lines end up moving. Just go to scoresandodds.com/Discord. I'm joined today by a newcomer to the show. You may know him as Denver Dude Bets, or Austin Garrison, or a guy I think still works with PointsBet. I don't even know at this point. But how you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's cold out here in Denver. Yes, I'm still at PointsBet. Yes, I am Denver Dude Bets from Twitter. Coming at you with college basketball all beginning of the year. It's that time of the season. But so now we're on NBA, so let's go.
Yeah. No, we got NBA. We got a little bit of football this weekend. I crushed playoff football this last week, and I crushed it last year. Like, I don't know what. I think it's just because so many people like to bet props during the playoffs, and they don't understand situations change. Like, I mean, the easiest one last week that I should have seen, but like Daniel Jones designing runs, like trying to kind of hide his moderate ineptitude throwing. Like, not he looked really good, but we should have known that he was going to run the ball a lot, and then just like there's no one's going to give up. Like, that they're going to be tossing the rock constantly, like Trevor Lawrence when they got down. No team's going to just try and run out the clock too often. I mean, it's fun to bet playoff football.
Yeah, I think it's all situation. Like last week, I took Kirk Cousins completions live when it was like 28 or 27 and a half, and he did like 11, and they were down by 17. Like, he's going to chuck the ball all game. That's what's going to happen. Same thing with like Daniel Jones, like you mentioned. Like, he's not going to put the ball in the danger. He's just going to run. So,
yeah,
like, it's going to be the same thing this weekend. He's not going to put the ball in coverage where he doesn't feel comfortable. He's going to take off every play. So,
yeah, no, I mean, he's been running a lot later down the stretch because they're like, oh, we're on the playoff contention. He's going to run any single time that he sees any opening for 5 to 10 yards. Like,
he's got D2 receivers, so his weapons aren't the greatest on the outside.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and talk about some basketball first. We'll start off with the first game. I got a few bets in this one. First one, Jaden Ivey over 15.5 points, minus 114 over at FanDuel. I've been projected for around 18. He's been shooting the ball a lot more. His minutes have seen an uptick recently, 34, 38, and 40 over the last 3 games. He's been getting like 15 shot attempts a game. So 15.5 is probably about a point too low. I think it's moved in some other spots slightly up. So now it's still at nice. They can get minus 110. Game starts in about a half hour, but line's just a bit too low. We have project for 16.5. It's moved to minus 130 in almost every other place besides FanDuel. Let's see. I have Vooch over 33.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 110 at Betfred. And Killian Hayes over 13.5 points, minus 130 at Betfred. 6 out of the last 8. Like all those, you got anything for this game? I know you were thinking about Levine, but
I'm going to go on it. I'm going to go with Levine over 25.5 on FanDuel at minus 114. The Pistons are dead last against defense efficiency, against shooting guards. Also, there's no DeMar DeRozan playing. Gives him more shots, give him the ball in his hands a lot more. He's hit this number in 5 of 6, and the only game he missed it was half a point. Even looking at his 3-point, he's only shooting roughly 20% from 3 the last like 6-7 games. The last 2 games, he's 1 for 8. Like, he's crushing this number in every spot if he consistently makes threes again. I also am going to sprinkle on his alt at 30 plus at plus 200. So give me Zach LaVine against a very bad Pistons shooting guard defense.
I have hit his over pretty much more than almost anyone else, him and DeRozan, and I just got slaughtered for a little while, so I haven't been.
When they play together, you don't know who's going to go off. Like it's a crapshoot. So with DeMar out, I will take LaVine.
Yeah, half the time I end up betting both, knowing that like there's very, very few scenarios where neither of them hit, but there's a decent amount of scenarios where both of them hit, but one's going to hit. And so like you just eat the juice 4 out of 5 times and then hit both 1 out of 5 times.
Yeah, and then you make it back plus some.
Yeah, but it's always interesting. But yeah, that's it. The game playing over Paris. Did you hear about Jalen Duren almost not going, or Duran?
Yeah, he's not playing, right?
He is. I think he is playing. He lost his passport, but looks like they got it figured out yesterday. It might be a little bit jet lagged, although Detroit to
Yikes.
Paris, I think, is only like a
Yeah, it's
5
not
6 hour
crazy.
flights.
Yeah, it's like going, New York to like Europe. Like it's not a crazy flight. It's just flying. It's like flying to the West Coast. So
Yeah, yeah. So it always seems like it's so much further away, but it's really, I mean, no
not
different than
crazy.
flying to Hawaii from LA.
Yeah.
And they're being played at a normal time, being played at 3 o'clock Eastern time. So you shouldn't throw them off too much.
Plus, they'll be pumped
Let's
up for the
see.
fans. So
Huh?
they'll be pumped up for the fans out there in Paris, the
Yeah, and
international.
Hayes, someone mentioned in chat, JT mentioned in chat, Killian Hayes, home country narrative. I guess
There you
that
go.
I was betting that regardless, but that makes me feel a little bit better. Next game we got is Golden State going up against Boston. I got a few bets in this one. We don't know if Jaylen Brown's going to play, so there's really not a lot of props out for the Boston side of things. But for Golden State, big old total here, over 240. I got Clay over 21.5 points, minus 104 over at FanDuel. It's a lot higher at some other spots. And then Steph over 38.5 points, minus 118 over at FanDuel. Clay's hit this in 4 of the last 5 games with Steph there. Steph's finally playing high 30s minutes. It's like potentially a championship matchup, Boston versus Golden State. No, it's a repeat of last year's championship, I guess. Could be the same this year. But yeah, overall, just a spot where it's going to be a high-scoring environment. Really like both those overs. You got someone in this game, right?
Yeah. So, and overall, I love Jordan Poole on anything you want to take him on. I think the best number to take him is points and rebounds at 22.5. It's over at FanDuel at minus 125. His rebounds have been skyrocketing. There was a conversation with him and Kerr where Kerr wanted him to be more, opportunistic on the glass so that they could speed up the offense getting on the break. But also, like, for him to have Curry back, it makes him more efficient. It makes him a better scorer. It makes his numbers go up. Like, without Curry, he was shooting 8 for 30, 9 for 30. His line was at 27.5. And since Curry's been back, he's shooting, normally he's shooting back to 40-50% from the field, from 340 and from the field 50. So I'm going to take his points and rebounds on 22.5. I think he probably hits this just with points alone. But I will take with the points and the rebounds.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, no, I remember like every single night I was betting Poole over the points. I'm like, he has to shoot better. Like he's going to shoot better at some point. So like, all right, 30 shots and he ends up with 24 points.
Oh yeah, I bet him every game with Curry out, and he was shooting 8 for 30, 8 from 31. Like he missed his prop by 1 or 2 every game. It was the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a while. So
yeah, it was rough, but oh well, we move on. It's betting. Next game we got Minnesota going up against Toronto. Don't have almost any props out for Minnesota side of things, but there is one prop that I like for the Toronto side of things. That's Gary Trent Jr. over 18.5 points. I've been hitting this a decent amount recently, and it's been going very well. He's hit the over at this number in 4 out of the last 5 out of the last 6, something like that. Like game logs 28, 18, 7 had a rough outing, and I think he got injured. 19, 24, 19, 27, 22, 32. Like he's been chucking 35, 20, 20. Like he's hit this in 8 out of the last 11, something like that. I'm just going to keep taking. I know it's minus 130 juice or minus 123 juice is not great, but if he's going to keep hitting this line and shooting the ball 20 times a game, I'm going to keep rolling with it.
Yeah, even to piggyback off that, the T-Wolves are on a back-to-back flying from Denver from Mile High. So that's something to keep in mind as well. For me, nothing in this game. I looked at Anthony Edwards. I don't know if you saw the beat report last night after the game. He said this was like the worst loss they've had all season. Like this is an opportunity for them to like grow. And he seemed very disgruntled with that. So if his points come out and he does play, I might be looking at taking that. I think it was 23.5 I saw right now.
Nice. Yeah. I definitely don't hate that. I think he's currently, I don't know how many lines are after this because I think Gobert is still questionable.
Yeah, I think even AE, he's had a questionable tag for the past like 5 or 6 games and he just keeps playing. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't expect Gobert to play, and I expect Edwards to play. Nothing in the Brooklyn-Phoenix game. Do you have anything in that game?
I do have one. Royce O'Neal over points, rebounds, and assists is sitting at 16.5 on FanDuel at minus 111. There's no Kevin Durant, right? He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. But also, he's got Curry healthy. He's got Harris healthy. He's got Warren healthy. It's a lot more opportunity for his assists. For him playing the 4 against Tony Craig, like, I'm not really worried about that. So I think his opportunities on the glass will be there. And then for points, I mean, he's either a boom or bust. He's either going to have 5 to 6 points or he's going to have 12 to 15 off threes alone. So I will be taking his points, rebounds, and assists at 16.5.
You know, you got me sold on that. I'm actually going to hit that right now over on FanDuel. Looks like it's best line minus 118.
Yeah.
Um, just signing in.
Yeah, and they're also playing the Suns. I mean, they don't have anybody to play. So it's going to be a bunch of
Yeah.
backups he's going to be playing against, Ish Wainwright and whoever it is. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, no, we haven't projected at 20 in this spot, which seems a little
beautiful.
high to me. But I mean,
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
certain.
he's had double doubles in like 2 of the last 5. Like he's gonna have his opportunities on the glass. Like if Claxton gets in foul trouble with Ayton, they're gonna bring in some backup center, and it's gonna be Royce's chance to play the glass. So
Yeah, and I mean, the other night he didn't really play a ton. How many minutes
they
did
got
I was?
they got blown out by like 40. He only played 21, and he had a goose egg. I think I think he scored a few, and he had like 0 rebounds and 0 assists. And Ben Simmons had the triple double with no Kyrie. Because I think
Yeah,
with Kyrie off the court, it hurts Royce O'Neal. Like he's not going to get his shots as much. But also, like they're really not going to be double teaming to help. Like it's more of a hockey assist for Kyrie when he gives it to Royce O'Neal because O'Neal's wide open. He either shoots or passes.
yeah. When you don't have to double Kyrie, like you're rarely ever going to see Royce or Joe Harris or anyway.
Yeah,
The
there's no
entire
help.
offense. Yeah, the entire offense was Ben Simmons who can't score and
Yeah,
Claxton. Like it was just absolutely. I mean, Warren obviously comes in and does what he does, but yeah, it's an
yeah,
entirely
exactly.
different offense without Kyrie
Yeah,
and
that's why I
Durant.
think the Royce spot's good tonight. I think Aiden shoots a lot of jumpers now too without Booker, so that'll bring Claxton away from the rim. Let Royce O'Neal jump down for rebounds too. So I think it's a good spot.
Yeah, I like it. I just hit it. Next game, we got Philly going up against Portland. I've got a few bets in this game. So first of all, Josh Hart under 9.5 points, minus 115 over at WinBet. This is kind of specifically a WinBet spot here. I think it's minus 125 pretty much everywhere else. Oh, minus 119 over at Caesars. They just threw the line on the board. That's not too bad. Yeah, I'd still take it at minus 119 if you don't have WinBet. But Josh Hart has not been hitting this very often. Philly, obviously, a tough defensive team. I'm rolling
Yeah.
with that under. I have Harden over 36.5 points, rebounds, assists, and Embiid over 32.5 points, both around minus 122. Harden had his worst game of the season, I think, last game. But I mean, I should have seen that coming, especially when Paul George was in there. George or Kawhi can shut down James Harden. Like they're obviously not going to be guarding Embiid too much. So it was a spot where
Yeah.
Embiid, I had his points over too, and I had Harden's assists over, which didn't end up working out too well.
Yeah,
But
he got burned at the last second.
yeah, he said the last 5 minutes. I also had Maxi's over assist. He had 5 minutes into playing and just never got a third one. It was rough, but Embiid has been hitting this at a massive clip. I think 13 out of the last 18 games he's hit it. Portland giving up the second most points to opposing centers. Like Embiid is just going to keep crushing every single night, and books aren't really moving his line too much because they don't want to have a 34.5 point line out there for almost anyone. Occasionally they do it with Giannis, but both these lines seem a bit too low to me. What do you think about him?
I like the Joel Embiid number. I don't think Nurkic can move with him, foot speed wise. So I would take the Joel Embiid. Harden is just like, for me, I can't. He's just so over the. He's everywhere. Sometimes he'll have 18 assists, 20 assists, then he'll have like 7 points with it. So his rebounds have been going down as well. I've noticed. Like I've been looking at his rebound line. It's like 5.5, 4.5, like sitting at those numbers, and I'm like, this time last year it's sitting at 7 or 8. So I would agree with you on the Embiid over. I think that at the end of the day, like I think his first quarter number is like 11 and a half alone. Like
Yeah.
he's going to shoot the ball 25, 30 times. He's going to get 15 to 20 free throws. It's just a matter of the game's a blowout or not at the end of the day for Embiid, I think, for his number.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned kind of why I like the James Harden over PRA, like not points. Like he's very inconsistent at what he's going to do, but like you look at what he's doing almost every single night outside of the other night. Like,
but it's also the matchup too. Like they're going to put Simons on him. Like what? No,
I would assume so. Potentially Jeremy Grant, who's not bad, but I mean, unless you're an elite lockdown defender, then you're probably not going to be able to shut down Harden. Like I get Chris Paul 100%. Or not Chris Paul, Paul George or Kawhi shutting him down, but I mean, there's also the chance that he gets Lillard defense because I mean, you still got Tobias on there. Obviously, PJ.
Hey, when Maxey comes out there early, it's like, what are you going to do? You're not going to put Simon's going to have to guard one of the three. And I think that's something to look at like live. If you see who Simons is guarding and they start going off, I think you just stick with them. Simon's a terrible defender.
Yeah. I mean, Lillard's not great either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, and I mean, I have to assume they're going to try and double team
Embiid.
Embiid to an
Yeah.
extent because Nurk can't shut him down. And I mean, Grant PJ Tucker's just going to be sitting out in the corner, which I thought about betting. I bet his under 3.5 points so often this year, and I was
Yep.
so
And then
careful last game, like 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Great, all right, that's the only way
I had
I can
his
lose.
I had his under 3.5 one game, and he had a 2-pointer, and then he got an and one dunk, and that's how I
Yeah.
lost. I was like, all right, when PJ Tucker gets an and one, I deserve to lose my bet. I think.
Yeah, no, it's just funny seeing the line. Like, there's been multiple games where I bet over 0.5 3-pointers made and under 3.5 points and hit both like pretty consistently. Because
Does it
if he's
give you
going to
good
score,
odds
he's
since
going to
it's a
hit a
correlation?
3-pointer.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, normally that's what it is. Does it give you good number on it, or no because of the correlation?
They did. No, I haven't. I didn't parlay them together. I just hit both straight.
Oh,
Bets,
okay,
but,
gotcha.
like,
Okay.
yeah, like there's been multiple times where it's sitting right around plus 100 on both those. I'm like, all right,
Yeah, I'll
for
take it.
sure one of these is going to hit, but most likely both of them is going to hit. Yeah. Have you looked at football at all this weekend?
A little bit. So for me, like I already see you have Daniel Jones. I'm with you on that 1,000%. I just don't see it in a world where like I told you, I think I was telling you earlier, like I don't think he puts the ball in harm's way. I think when it's a questionable coverage, he's just going to take off. He's going to have 15, 16 rushing attempts, I think. So I haven't even looked at like his rushing attempt number as well, but like that's something I might be interested in as well too.
Yeah, I wonder what his rushing attempt number is. I'm gonna go ahead and check to see if it's even up here for over on DK. Generally has him out pretty early. Let's see, rush attempts. Yeah, we don't have a line out for his rush attempts, but I mean, yeah, he's had double digit in 3 out of the last 4, 17, 10, 11, and 4, I think, in the last 4 games.
Yeah,
And
regular season, I just feel like he won't put his body on the line. Now it's like, well, I'm going to run for 5 yards every play if I can.
yeah, well, I mean, they literally had like 6 designed runs for him in the last game.
Yeah. Other NFL numbers. I mean, like, I know you're more of a prop, but like, I just don't see how the Jaguars keep this game close. I literally don't. I think Chiefs win by like 20 points in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, if I was going to bet any of these lines, Chiefs is definitely the line that I would end up betting. Jags have kind of gotten really lucky. Obviously, the Chargers full on collapse.
I took them 24-1 last week when they were down. It was a fun bet to do for sure.
Honestly, I would say that's just stupid in almost every scenario except for the Jet going up against the Chargers, who just
Yeah, exactly.
world class collapse artist. Like,
Oh,
it's
100%.
just a
And it
beautiful
wasn't.
disaster.
Other NFL, I mean, like at the end of the day, I think we see, like Debo's line's going to come out again. McCaffrey, like I think McCaffrey's rushing number is going to be good. I think Debo's number is going to be good. I think they're going to do everything they can to make sure Brock Purdy doesn't put the ball in harm's way. Because he does like to throw balls right to the other team sometimes.
Yeah. Is Debo's line out yet? Debo's line is out now. 15 and a half rushing yards.
I would just take it now. I mean, last week was his first game back, and they weren't going to overuse him in a blowout spot. I just don't see how the Debo isn't another play. Like he got in 1 carry last week. He's going to get 4 or 5 carries this week.
Yeah. No, I mean, he hit it like 3 plays in to.
Yeah, he hit it on his first rushing attempt, I think. The other one too is like I like McCaffrey a lot. I think that like his number at 64.5, I think the best number is on FanDuel. Like that's just it's too low of a number. It's just simply too low.
Yeah, I'm hitting Debo minus 110 over to MGM minus 111 over 15 and a half rushing yards. I'm hitting that right now over at Caesars.
One I actually do like too is the Mitchell under.
That's interesting. Yeah, they are like that's the main thing. Mitchell's kind of getting lost. I think the main time they're going to use them, which they did, blowout, which was last week.
So before the blowout, he only had 3 carries for 2 yards. And this like he ended up with 9 carries, so he got 6 carries in the last 2 drives. I mean, if you're telling me in a game that's going to be tightly contested, why are they going to bring in somebody who hasn't had the ball in his hand all game with a potential fumble opportunity?
Debo's already moved to minus 123. It came out like right before the show, I think.
Oh, really?
And it's moving. If you can get it minus 110 over at MGM, go hammer it right now. I'm going to go check some of the other sites. But yeah, last few bets I got Zay Jones under 54.5 receiving yards, minus 115 at DK. Hurts, this is specific to Barstool or Bet Rivers, plus 100 on over 20.5 passing completions, sitting at like minus 130 in other spots. And then a little bit more of a long shot bet, Isaiah Hodgins over 4.5 receptions, plus 130. I know that he's mostly just hit this going up against the Vikings, but they're going to be tossing the ball later on in the game. He's probably Daniel Jones' favorite target right now, especially after Slayton had a few drops, I think, last week. So
Yeah.
Hodgins over 4.5 receptions. He's got great hands. He's gonna get a decent amount of volume. You got anything else?
The one thing I would actually look at is Daniel Jones' attempts. I haven't looked at it at all, but like his passing attempts, like it's going to be high. It's either like if they're going to get down in the game, they're probably down by 2-3, probably down by 2 touchdowns minimum in the fourth quarter. I mean, something around there, but I think he's going to have to be chucking from behind. So his attempts will probably skyrocket if you want to take it live during the game.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
The only other thing
I rarely bet live during games because I always have to have like 8 different screens up, and I just want to enjoy the games. But occasionally,
the one thing I will take, this is a college basketball play. I love my college basketball and I love my home pups. I'm going to take North Dakota plus 135 on DK. They're playing Kansas City. It's an easy spot. They're a home pup. Kansas City's terrible on the road. They're 1-5 in their last 6 games when they're favored straight up. Just give me the home pup bark in the night. So North Dakota wins a lot of games at home, and they can't win on the road. So give me the home.
All right, I like it. Guys, if you haven't already done so, go follow Austin at Denver Dude Bets on Twitter. He'll be back up here occasionally. It's been fun. We're out of here.
Beautiful.